Hello, hello, hello. From Biden saying sanctions don't do anything to Biden, of course, set to impose new sanctions. This time going after companies that are part of Russian military or intelligence procurement network. It's ridiculous right now what's going on in the world. Hello, everybody. How you guys doing tonight? Hi, Nana. Hi, Hank. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Susie. Hi, Darlene. Hi, Tia. Hi, Leo. Hi, Eden. Hi, Susie. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Brian. Hi, Rodney. Michael. Hi, Richard. Hi, Lee. I know Lee's in here somewhere, but he's not saying hi. But hello, everyone. How you guys doing tonight? It's crazy out there. Hi, Richard. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Hi, Sherry. Letting some people get in here real quick, but this thing is ridiculous. Biden makes a speech, of course, yesterday, stating that sanctions weren't meant to do anything. You know, it was just a punishment for what Russia did. That it's not going to stop the war. But yet Biden today is talking about imposing new sanctions on Russia when Russia's already calling this a war against Russia. The United States is in a war against Russia, meaning calling for more war or calling for more damages. Of course, this could easily escalate at this point. We already see it escalating beyond a point of food shortages in the United States, as, of course, even the government now is admitting food shortages are going to become a problem. Food shortages right now are we're standing at missing 40% of the wheat for the global market, which is a huge percentage, and that's just the beginning. We're talking fertilizer that's not going to get out to crops next year or this year, or crops this year, causing shortages of more crops amongst America and other countries. We rely heavily on Russian fertilizer here and abroad. Food lines are going to become a thing, but not because of cost, because food won't exist at the rate we produce food now. Many genetically altered crops require heavy fertilization to produce the amount of food that they do now, and it's going to be sad. As we're facing this front and foremost, tragedies here in America are getting worse. Costs, of course, are going up. They're talking about giving checks for gas, as the average American's consumers seeing an increase of cost of about $2,000 per year just due to the gas price surge. An additional, easily extra $1,000 a year on groceries, the steepest rise since 1982. Customers are already reporting they're cutting back on spending and driving less and blaming the sticker shock at the pump. Gas stimulus, of course, that they're trying to push will provide middle class with a monthly payment to ease the financial burden of the global crisis, but we're talking $1,200 a year, if, of course, it does pass. It could be up to, of course, $400 per vehicle in certain states like California. But they're saying a family with 2 children could get $300 a month on the national average. Of course, the gas prices. But that's not a lot of money. That is really not a lot, especially with what we're facing here in America. The energy rebate that's being proposed is $100 per person, which is $1,200 per year, which is nothing compared to the extra cost of fuel that we're facing. It's sad because families, of course, aren't able to afford what they're buying now. And big oil and windfall and taxes per barrel are about 50%. Between the current price of oil and its pre-pandemic average of 2015-2019, lawmakers, of course, increased oil taxes because oil prices were low. They're not cutting back those taxes. They're going to keep them taxes instated. Makes no sense to people. The new COVID. We have also the bird flu here in the United States now. People are getting very, very sick from the new COVID. And I warned about B2, the B.2 variant, the new stealth variant. that has its own number now. Instead of a dot 2 or dot 1436, it actually has 0.2 now because it is a dominant variant now. And seeing that on top of bird flu here in the U.S., of course, cases rising on both of those. And then we have truckers now getting paid less per load. I don't know if you guys know about that, but that will be big. It's going to start hitting harder and harder as truckers are getting paid less per load than they were pre-pandemic at this point. Pre this gas price raise, pre everything that's happening. Truckers are getting less per load, which we will see loads being dropped and not being taken. So amongst the food shortage, we'll have, of course, supply shortages as well. This is getting into those times what I was talking about, be prepared. When the government is admitting to people that there is going to be a problem. With food shortages, it's a scary time when the government is admitting it at this point. Yeah, having to park the rigs. It's not, you can't afford to drive them. I know a lot of truckers that have been out there talking about not being able to drive with these new load rates that are coming out, and it's sad. If truckers can't afford to drive their rigs, food does not get to the store. If food does not get to the store, it doesn't matter if there's a shortage of goods. If the actual shortage is there, because the supply chain is broken at that point. And that is what we're facing. The supply chain hit that will affect every American in every walk of life. That's that. Of course, Russia warns the West gas bills and rubles are just days away. As Russia warns the West Friday or today that billing in rubles for billions of dollars worth of natural gas exports to Europe could be days away. Moscow's toughest response yet to the crippling sanctions imposed by the West for the invasion of Ukraine. With Russia's economy facing a gravest crisis, the gravest of crisis since the years that followed the breakup of the Southern Soviet Union, President Vladimir Putin announced that they will hit back at the West, ordering Russian gas exporters should be paid in rubles. Putin said the West has declared economic war by freezing the assets of Russia, so Russia saw no point to receive dollars or euros for Russian exports anymore, meaning they will close their economy. This is very important because when you close an economy to the world, your dollar value does increase no matter what. The Kremlin on Friday said Putin ordered Gazprom, the world's biggest natural gas company, which supplies 40% of Europe's natural gas, to accept export payments in rubles only. And it had just 4 days left to work out how. Basically making Russia the dominant currency that Europe is going to be paying for their fuel and oil, which is a strong but sad strategy. It's going to affect the globe even more. It is sad. Of course, and then we have the United States working on supplying 15 billion cubic meters of liquefied natural gas to the European Union this year to help wean it off Russia's gas supplies. This is not going to be good either. Of course, the cut of the 15 billion cubic meters of liquefied natural gas to the EU will, of course, affect America's price for liquid natural gas. Amongst those will be restaurants hit the hardest, as they use natural gas directly, of course, to power their ovens and heating and cooking equipment. And that, of course, will have a direct impact on consumers. Restaurant industry is already saying they'll probably have to cut staff, laying off tens of thousands of workers throughout the United States. And that's just recent layoffs that they're talking about. They don't know the extent of the layoffs yet, but those will be immediate. Natural gas prices go up, of course, and it costs ridiculous amounts. Servers, of course, will be one of the first things to go. Reducing staff to reduce their overall cost. It is sad. It is truly sad what's happening. And this is just within the last couple days. I'll be streaming it, though, on Rumble. The speech Trump is stuff on Rumble. Yeah. Yeah, so bird flu has already hit a lot of chicken farmers. Citric acid, uric acid, stuff that's needed for, of course, crops coming out of Russia is gone. Or cut off altogether right now. So that's going to face a big problem. The chicken farmers that have been hit, chicken prices, of course, have been going up. I don't know if people notice, but you could get 8 wings for about $10. Now it's 8 wings for almost $20 at most places supplying them. And the impact is just starting to be seen. As more chicken farms and bird flu, of course, spreads, they'll be calling more chickens, killing them, of course, and hoping to stop the spread of the virus. But it's a system that people are going to have to get used to. Shortages of food, not just meat, but flour, we know is going to... Susie, I don't know. You're going to have to look that up. I do not know the answer to that. But people are going to have to realize this is just coming. It's that. Of course, Biden tells troops they will be in Ukraine in war gaff. What that means, who knows what that actually means, because Biden said that today. The U.S. troops in Poland Friday, they will be witnessing the bravery of Ukraine's fighting off Russia's invasion. When you're there, he said, making a significant gaffe after he previously said the United States would stay out of the European conflict and avoid triggering World War III. Yes, Biden said, when you're there to U.S. soldiers, you'll be witnessing Ukrainians fighting off Russian invasion. Biden made the remark while addressing members of the 82nd Airborne Division after lunching on pizza and posing for selfies with dozens of paratroopers at the mess hall in southeast Poland. You're going to see when you're there, and some of you have been there, you're going to see women, young people standing in the front of a damned tank, just saying, I'm not leaving, I'm holding my ground, Biden says. That's what he said today. White House, of course, quickly clarified that Biden wasn't changing his stance on deploying military to Ukraine. But I'm not sure if that's the fact. As the president has been clear, we are not sending troops to Ukraine. And there's no change to that in position, a Biden spokesperson decided to say. As Biden, of course, I think accidentally slipped the news out publicly. Egg prices are going to increase. The cost of eggs is going to increase. It's just going to be ridiculous. But I think Biden did expose what his plans are. Yeah, he used to get chicken wings for cheap. Food used to be a reasonable price. Not anymore. But I think Biden actually exposed his plans with the war on Russia and his statement to the 82nd Airborne today, and which is ridiculous. It should have never happened. But we see the administration, doing this again and again and again. He says that the sanctions were never supposed to have an impact on Ukraine, on the war in Ukraine. It was a punishment just to punish Russia. To saying that more sanctions are on their way. On their way. Yeah, I knew it wasn't for peacekeeping. I knew the amount of troops we've been moving there to the front lines. They may not be in the war yet, but it is coming. It is coming. Yeah, Tony, you got to look it up, but most cities allow 6 chickens within city limits. But of course, oil stocks are prices extended gains as oil prices supposedly are falling, but I haven't seen it fall. National gas average right now is $4.24 a gallon. That's the national average. With gas prices topping $6 a gallon in California, as LA continues to lead the nation in fuel expenses. Ukraine says 300 killed in a Russian strike that hit Mariupol theater using a bomb. A shelter. They bombed a shelter there supposedly. And then of course you have China. China wanting to move on Taiwan now again, as we see more aggressive actions taking place there, as South Korea or North Korea, not South North Korea decides to fire a missile into Japanese territorial waters. I mean, it's one thing after another. Our world is in shambles. We have a food shortage going on, a global food shortage. We have war going on right now between Ukraine and Russia. U.S. is edging to get its way in, whether they claim they are or not. That's just a fact. Prices becoming ridiculous where people can't even afford to live their own lives here in America. And a president that doesn't seem to care. Where are we going to end up with all this? And who's going to be hurt the most in the long run? As we're talking about what's happening out there, it's getting worse and worse. Every time we turn around, something else is happening. Russian lawmakers are also considering a proposal to accept Bitcoin for oil and natural and gas exports from friendly countries like China and Turkey. Which that makes sense. Make everybody else pay euro or pay them in rubles so they can get all their rubles back from their market, causing their exchange rate to go up, raising the global currency, and taking Bitcoin, of course, from friendly allies where the Bitcoin cannot be tracked of whose it was in the first place and how they got it or how they used it to pay for goods. This is an important move that's happening in the world as we watch everything crumble below America's feet. It's literally, we're watching the world crumble below America's feet. We're going to see what's happened out there, of course. Doesn't look like much has happened out there. Russian troops kidnapped the head of a village in the Kiev region. Lots of course, talk. Poland, Biden to Poland by calling for arms for Ukraine. It's just ridiculous. He's pulling us into this war one way or another this time. There is no fighting it. It's hell in a handbasket. It is hell in a handbasket happening right now. And I don't think HOAs are going to be doing much about chickens, especially when they're shorting on food in the first place. They may say something now, but in the next couple months, when food shortages really start to hit and hit hard, because there is a 90-day global supply of goods. It's only been 30 days in since this war started. And that means we're 30 days with 40% of flour missing from the global economy. Or wheat. Wheat and flour, of course, is included in wheat. And you don't realize, but almost every product you use, from even Tylenol, contains wheat. Everything you use contains some kind of binding agent. Most of those binding agents can include wheat or flour of some sort. Of course, those will be the things that are affected. Things that you don't even realize that contain it. Your food supply, of course, will be impacted by this, but that's not going to be it. It'll be nowhere near it. Of course, in Yemen today, rebels strike oil depot in Saudi Arabia. Yemen rebels struck an oil depot in Saudi Arabia today, causing more issues with oil shortages to come. But nobody's talking about that, because the oil shortages that are going to happen coming from Saudi Arabia missing out oil fields because Yemen rebels are now setting them on fire. Nobody's talking about that, because that's a big deal. With an oil shortage already existing, and of course, we have foreign nations having problems securing their own oil fields from people in their own country. We should go back to growing and doing more stuff. The problem is fertilizer, which we used to mine a bunch of fertilizer here in Florida, and they quit doing it because it was messing with the environment. Well, at what point does the environment matter more than human lives? Sorry, I need a cigarette. This is stressing me out tonight. It's literally one thing after another, though. Look and see what's happening out there. Everywhere from Netflix to Amazon are increasing prices. Why? I don't know. Literally, every single person is raising their prices. It's not costing Netflix anymore. They're not paying more for fuel or for delivery of goods or for driving. No, they're charging more because the rate of the economy is going up. The inflation rate of the dollar, the devaluation of a dollar, let's put it that way. As the dollar is worth less, companies have to charge more to make the same amount of money in a global market. And we're seeing that hit everywhere. Amongst everything else that's happening, of course, dramatic outcomes are going to come from this. As inflation takes hold even harder in America, as food shortages take place, people start charging more for the little bit of food that exists on the shelves, and people are going to have to pay for it in order to get it. So I push you guys to be prepared for anything and everything that could happen, because it's going to happen. Crime is going to increase. Yeah, food, gas, anything you can sell, buy, or trade. We will see crime. Stopping people from crossing the border is not going to change anything right now. Unfortunately, it's already done. It is already done. Oh, sad. They're going to give out checks for gas, not coupons for gas. Monthly checks, that's their plan. We'll see how long that lasts before gas prices become crippling and the government has no money left. Oh, wait. They don't have any money left now. Their plan is to switch to a digital currency, of course, stopping people from buying their goods they want. We already know that because we talked about it last night if you guys weren't here. Digital currency is on its way. Treasury's been working on it. The final white pages, the white page documents have been written. Digital currency is coming. Yeah, the only gas being drilled is being drilled out of people's gas tanks. Well, not that, they just drill a hole or punch a hole in your gas tank. It's sad what's happening out there, though. There's another Russian column of trucks coming through. I don't see them having any problems traveling through the area. Russia seems like it can get goods in and out perfectly fine. But that's not what we're hearing from the Associated Press or from the government we have out there. The shortages we had in the 70s are nowhere near the shortages we're seeing today. Nowhere near, because we didn't have nearly the demand for fuel. It's bad. Yeah, they're going to switch to a digital currency they can track, and they can print. They can do as much as they want with it, and take it out of your account like that for no reason, literally. Where they can stop you from buying or selling anything they want you to buy or sell. Trades between people or citizens will not be allowed. Tracking every aspect of your life for the good of the people, according to them. But who are the people that it's good for? I know it's not good for me. I don't know if it's good for you. Another picture of the armed or convoys coming through supplying goods for Russia. Convoys just traveling through, no problem. But yet the media tells us that this is not happening. They are not able to get supplies in, and the Russian soldiers are starving. And they have no fuel and none of this, no weapons, no ammunition. Then how come convoys are driving along the roadways like nothing is happening? Literally nothing is happening to them. Nope. Can't send checks to a birthday, can't anything. Limiting transfer of funds between civilians. So even if somebody's needing to borrow a couple bucks, you can't even do that. If they need to borrow money, you need to take out a loan, you have to do it through the Treasury, as banks will become non-existent. And where's it going to end up? Where are we going to end up in all this? So that's the big question. How is it going to affect Americans in the long run? Is it a benefit? I don't see it as a benefit. It's tragedy, and this is what's happening. Whether we like it or not, it's on the forefront, and this is what we're going to be facing. We have a justice they are trying to get into the Supreme Court that will end any kind of conservative policies in the future. As of course, they will just need one more liberal judge to pass any kind of ultimate or alt liberal thing through the Supreme Court. And it's a question whether or not they should vote for her. They should be voting for her, period. And it's not about color of skin, it's about character of the person. It's sad. I don't know what else to say, you guys. Stay strong, try to stay tall, and stand tall. Yeah. They don't even have to classify you as a terrorist. to freeze your money. The U.S. has something called civil asset forfeiture. They can take your money for any reason, Bridget. They don't need a reason. They don't need a reason. That law's been in place for a long time. This will give them central control of all currency. Banks would be non-existent. You wouldn't be able to go to a bank and take out currency. You wouldn't be able to go to a private institution to take out a loan. The government would have every aspect of your life controlled. Eventually, everybody would be in debt, a constant debt to the U.S. government. Can you imagine that? Borrowing money from the U.S. government and them having total control of your money for the rest of your life? It's not going to be a question soon. It's going to be a reality. We don't end up in this war and totally destroyed. We have shortages of everything happening, costs going through the roof, and we have a digital currency for the United States coming our way. Think about that. Every aspect of your life controlled by the government because you borrowed money for a car and their interest rates are 26%. Let's make a ridiculous rate because that's what they can do and that's what they're going to do. So then you're paying 26% interest rate on a vehicle that you're never going to pay off. That you're never going to be able to pay off. You will owe the government the rest of your life. And that's their plan. Their plan is not to make it easy on you. Look at the past. Look at the history. Every single person they get under their thumb, under total control, is a slave to them. People won't realize that banks don't exist. Just imagine next thing will be barcodes printed on your skin. Mark of the beast will happen. Implantation technology. If you want to spend your digital currency today, get this implant in your hand. Otherwise, you can't spend your money. It's happening. The government thinks this is okay. Activist judge going to the Supreme Court. I'm just going to allow this all to go through, too. It is sad. But this is what we're facing here in America. This is what we're facing today. Scary, sad times as we go forward and we watch what's happening out there. Oh no, they'll want implants. The phones don't track you if you don't carry it. They'll want implants. Guaranteed. If you don't think they'll want implants, they want to track your every movement. Not just where you go to purchase stuff, but who you're going to talk to, your friends, your anything. Total control of population. And it's happening. The cryptocurrency is supposed it's not cryptocurrency. The digital currency for the United States is supposed to be ready by September. The digital currency for the United States is supposed to be ready for deployment by September. Yeah, Big Brother is everywhere. It's just going to become even more prevalent. It is tragic. Yeah, we're dying from a death of 1,000 cuts. Everywhere you turn around. Oh, Europe plans on their own digital currency too. Don't get me wrong. This will become a one world order, a new world order. Once they get control of the people, then they can just do whatever they want. Stocking up, that's the way you got to do it. Food shortages are going to be the biggest problem coming forward, and we'll see a lot of people going hungry, a lot of issues happening. Well, you'll have to trade in your money for digital currency, and then they can decide whether you get to keep it or not, I guess. Revolution is coming, Richard. I think we need to start a red hat society. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, EBT cards are another way. They monitor people's purchases already, and they don't realize it. They're making the middle class so broke that everybody is eventually going to fall with the lower class receiving food stamps, which is trackable right now. They can track every purchase you make, what you buy, what you don't buy. Digital currency will let them have full control of what you do and don't buy. Uh, but I'm going to sign off here tonight. I know not a lot of good news, but I'm exhausted. If you guys don't know, one of the nurses that I have during the day have not been coming. So I've been doing a lot of extra work with Grandpa. And of course, Sunday night, I probably will not be on because Sunday I will not have any nurse whatsoever. My grandfather's 96 years old and he requires constant supervision. So I will probably be on tomorrow night, but not Sunday. But I do want to say God bless you all. And any donations you can't afford to give, please do. We'll be trying to help as many people for Easter as possible. We understand that a lot of people can't afford right now to do anything. But the implications of the Saudi oil attacks, and how it's going to affect us is less oil being exported. Less oil being exported means higher costs, which we'll be seeing happening next week. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys tomorrow night around 9:30 to 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. God bless you, and God bless America.